Picture this. You're one of the most dominant centers in NBA history. You have 11 All-Star selections. You're in the Hall of Fame. You hold every major franchise record for one of basketball's most famous teams. But people still question your greatness because of one missing piece. This is the Patrick Ewing story. Patrick Ewing stands as one of basketball's most fascinating figures. The towering center who transformed the New York Knicks from struggling underdogs into championship contenders for over a decade. He scored over 24,000 points, grabbed 11,000 rebounds, and blocked nearly 3,000 shots. Yet his legacy remains clouded by one simple fact: he never won an NBA championship. But today we're going to explore why that doesn't define his greatness. The foundation of greatness. When Patrick Ewing entered the NBA in 1985 as the #1 draft pick, the New York Knicks were coming off what they called a difficult decade. The franchise needed a hero, and Ewing delivered immediately. In his rookie season, despite battling injuries, he averaged 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, earning Rookie of the Year honors. What made Ewing special wasn't just his size at 7 feet tall. It was his complete skill set. He could score with his back to the basket. He had a smooth baseline jumper that frustrated defenders. He was a defensive anchor who could protect the rim and rebound at an elite level. Most importantly, he had the heart of a competitor who never backed down from anyone. For 15 seasons in New York, Ewing was the undisputed leader of the Knicks. He made the All-Star team 11 times. He was named to 7 All-NBA teams, including first team in 1990. The numbers tell the story. 24,815 career points, 11,607 rebounds, and 2,894 blocks, ranking 7th all-time. The championship pursuit, Ewing's quest for a championship, led the Knicks to 13 consecutive playoff appearances. They reached the NBA Finals twice, in 1994 and 1999. Each trip told a different story of heartbreak and what could have been. The 1994 Finals against the Houston Rockets represented Ewing's best chance at glory. The Knicks had battled through tough playoff series against the Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers to reach their first finals in over 20 years. They faced Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets in what became a 7-game war. Ewing was magnificent in that series. He averaged 18.9 points, 12.4 rebounds, and 4.3 blocks per game, going toe-to-toe with Olajuwon, another Hall of Fame center. The series went the distance, with both teams trading victories in brutal, physical games. Game 7 was everything basketball fans could want. 2 great teams, 2 great centers, and everything on the line. The Knicks lost that final game, and Ewing was devastated. Years later, he would say the Knicks were the better team against the Rockets, but just didn't find a way to make enough plays when it mattered most. The difference between championship glory and heartbreak came down to a few possessions, a few shots, a few moments where everything had to go right. The 1999 Finals told a different story entirely. The Knicks, as an 8th seed, had made an improbable run to the finals during a lockout-shortened season. But Ewing's participation was cut short by injury. The injury factor injuries played a cruel role in Ewing's championship dreams. During the 1999 playoff run, he had been battling Achilles tendonitis throughout the shortened season. In Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Indiana, his Achilles finally gave out completely. Remarkably, Ewing played 25 minutes with a torn Achilles, scoring 10 points before being forced to leave the game. He missed the remainder of the playoffs, including the finals against San Antonio. The Spurs won their first championship, defeating the Knicks 4-1. This injury wasn't just bad timing. It robbed Ewing of what might have been his final chance at a championship. The Knicks had defied all odds to reach the finals as the lowest seed ever to do so. They had proven they could compete with anyone. But without their leader and anchor, they couldn't finish the job. Throughout his career, Ewing dealt with various injuries that affected his playoff performances. Knee problems, back issues, and other ailments often limited his effectiveness during the most crucial times of the season. The rivalry gauntlet understanding. Ewing's championship drought requires understanding the competition he faced. His career coincided with some of the greatest teams and players in NBA history, creating a perfect storm of elite competition. The most significant obstacle was Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. From 1989 to 1996, the Knicks and Bulls met in the playoffs 6 times. The Bulls won 5 of those series, including devastating defeats in 1991, 1992, and 1993. The only time the Knicks beat the Bulls was in 1994, when Jordan had temporarily retired to play baseball. This wasn't just a rivalry, it was a systematic roadblock. Ewing averaged 22.5 points, 11.0 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per game against the Bulls in playoff matchups. His individual performance was excellent, but Jordan's Bulls were simply one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. The Indiana Pacers, led by clutch shooter Reggie Miller, provided another constant source of playoff heartbreak. The Knicks had a 12-16 record against the Pacers in playoff series. Key moments of agony included the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals, where the Knicks lost Game 7 on what became known as an infamous missed Ewing finger roll. That 1995 series perfectly captured the fine margins that separated Ewing from championship success. The Knicks had rallied from a 3-1 deficit, with Ewing hitting a buzzer beater in Game 5 to force Game 7. In that decisive game, one shot could have changed everything. Even when facing other opponents like the Miami Heat, the matchups were described as brutal. The 1998 playoff series against Miami went 7 games, with an aging Ewing defeating his rival center, Alonzo Mourning. The Ewing theory myth. One of the most unfair criticisms of Ewing's legacy is the so-called Ewing theory. This idea suggested that teams played better when Ewing was injured or in foul trouble. The theory gained popularity after the Knicks' surprising 1999 finals run without him. However, the facts tell a different story. In the 1999 playoffs, the Knicks were 8-3 while Ewing was healthy and playing. After his Achilles injury forced him out, they went 4-5. The team's performance actually declined without their anchor. If the theory were true, the Knicks should have found great success after trading Ewing in 2000. Instead, they failed to reach the same heights, proving that his presence was crucial to their success. The Ewing theory was nothing more than a narrative fallacy. The championship culture trap modern NBA discussion often falls into what experts call ring culture, judging players solely by championship victories. This approach creates an oversimplified view of greatness that ignores crucial factors like historical context, competitive eras, and team dynamics. Ewing's era was arguably the most competitive in NBA history. The league featured multiple dynasties, incredible depth of talent, and physical play that tested every competitor. Many great players from this era never won championships, not because they weren't good enough, but because the competition was so fierce. The focus on championships as the only measure of success creates an unfair standard. It suggests that individual brilliance doesn't matter if it doesn't result in team success in a sport where 5 players per team contribute to victory. The true legacy. Patrick Ewing's real legacy extends far beyond championship rings. He was the cornerstone of the Knicks' identity for 15 years, transforming them into a consistently competitive franchise. His indomitable presence and relentless pursuit of excellence made him one of the most respected players of his generation. The numbers support his greatness. He remains the Knicks' all-time leader in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals. His 2,894 career blocks rank 7th in NBA history. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame twice, once as an individual player in 2008 and again as a member of the 1992 Dream Team in 2010. Ewing's impact went beyond statistics. He elevated his teammates, competed at the highest level every night, and represented his franchise with dignity and class. His baseline jumper became iconic. His battles with other great centers defined an era of basketball. Young fans today might not fully appreciate what Ewing accomplished because they focus too much on what he didn't achieve. But those who watched him play understand that greatness isn't always measured by trophies. Patrick Ewing's story isn't about failure. It's about excellence in the face of extraordinary competition. He gave everything he had to basketball, faced the greatest players and teams of his era, and left an indelible mark on the sport. The question isn't why Patrick Ewing never won a championship. The question is how we can properly honor a player who dominated his position, transformed a franchise, and competed with unwavering determination for 17 professional seasons. Patrick Ewing didn't need a championship ring to prove his greatness. His legacy was forged through dominance, defined by his response to adversity, and endures because true basketball fans recognize what he accomplished.